Marc Winterhoff. Marc, really fascinating considering it was just last month that Tesla rolled out its cybercabs. Tell me exactly how this deal came together and how you expect your plan will be different.
Yeah, thank you, Liz, and thanks for having me back so quickly. I think last time we talked was on March.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a fantastic collaboration between all of our partners, between ourselves, the team at Lucid, Uber, and Nurero. We have worked on this already for the last couple of months, so it's not something that just happened because of the Tesla announcement. We've been on it already for 6 months, and yeah, we are super excited that this now happened. And I mean, for us at Lucid, it is very important because it's not only validating our EV technology, where we have worked so hard on in order to become the leader in EV technology, but also it opens a new addressable market for us, the growing segment of robotaxis.
So here's the thing. The technology part of it, aside from the car, is with a company called Nurero. And I was looking into Nurero. Nurero already has driverless vehicles on the road doing sort of last mile type of delivery stuff. So they already know exactly what they're doing. They've got a proving ground in Las Vegas. They've been testing this already with gravities, as I understand it. Tell me about how the testing is going. Have you been in one? Are you overseeing this? How does it look? How does it feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's, yes, we're driving there in Las Vegas, and it's actually already going very well. So I'm very surprised how far we already got. And you're right, Nurero has a technology that is already in practice on real streets. And that's also one of the reasons why we did this collaboration together with them and with Uber. Because we want to be together with Uber on the market relatively quickly. By the end of next year is the plan. And yeah, and it feels amazing. So the technology feels very, very secure. And that's what's super important for us. That's also why the technology we are using there is not only cameras, like for instance what Tesla is doing, but we have also radars and lidars in the system to make it more bulletproof.
More bulletproof, more safe. So you're testing in Las Vegas. Nurero already has its proving ground in Las Vegas. Can I just say that you're going to launch in Las Vegas next year?
Nope, that would not be correct, and that's something actually which has not been finally decided. It is, public that we are launching with a U.S. city, but we still have to land on that, and that's mainly driven by Uber. But yeah, so it will be in a U.S. city.
Okay, a U.S. city. Well, that brings me to China, because China is going full force into the robotaxi sector. They've got BYD and Baidu that have really gotten involved in it. Do you think about the Chinese and look at them and say, I want to test in one of those and see what they do? How is it going over there from your research and what you've experienced and seen?
Well, I have not been yet in a Chinese robotaxi, but I've been at the Shanghai Auto Show not so long ago, and I was impressed about how much they came of age in the last couple of years since the last time I was there when it comes to the product quality and the fit and finish. I was also able to drive a lot of those vehicles, and I have to say, we at Lucid, we definitely still have an edge when it comes to the ride comfort and the driving dynamics. So I think we're still on a different planet there. But there's definitely a lot of things going on. And we here in the US, we need to really keep innovating because they're getting better every year.
And you announced deliveries and production earlier, your total earlier this month. During the period, you produced 3,863 vehicles, delivered 3,309, 6,000 plus for the first half of the year. Do you expect that the second half of the year will improve upon those numbers?
Yes, absolutely. And by the way, I want to mention that this is now was the sixth consecutive record delivery number that we had a quarter. But you're totally right. I mean, we are expecting both production and the deliveries to go markedly up in the second half of the year, particularly when it comes to the Gravity. I said that already, that we had a little bit of speed bumps, with suppliers, and then magnet shortage topics didn't really help, where our team had to to work miracles to really overcome that. The second half of the year will be drastically higher. So we are very, very, looking forward about with the second half of the year.
Obviously, last week, and we saw the 1-week chart, the stock spiked dramatically on the news that you are partnering with Uber and Nurero, and that's great news. But the stock, as you know, has struggled. You recently announced a proposal for a reverse 1-for-10 stock split. Do you see this move as broadening reach for, how do you see this as broadening reach to investors and exciting investors?
Yeah, this is something which may not be widely known, but several institutional investors, they actually have limits or thresholds you have to be over from a stock price that they can even invest in you.
Right.
And that was one reason we want to open, the investor base into areas that then can invest into us and maybe reduce the amount of retail investors. I mean, you see today we are down. I actually didn't look in the last 10 minutes, but I assume we're still down. And that is because of retail investors, because most likely, taking the profit of last week's spike. And we are looking for long-term investors. That's basically why we did this. It's more like a technical exercise. I mean, the stock doesn't get more or less worth through this. And but that's exactly because we want to open our reach for new investor bases.
You're doing that. You are launching the Robotaxi plan. I test drove the Lucid Air, 500-mile charge. Oh. That's impressive. Game, set, match there. You're interim CEO, Marc. When are you going to get the full-time gig?
You need to ask the board that. So I'm actually really focusing on doing day-to-day business and deliver on the commitments that we made. We still have a lot to do this year. I have to say I actually don't have time to think about this. And I mean, there is a search going on, and whatever the outcome is, I will do my best for the company.
Well, I do just want to say as we finish up here that it was back in March that you were here and you told us that 50% of your new Lucid buyers were former Tesla owners. Has that number changed? Has it gone up? Has it gone down? There are a lot of people who were unhappy with Elon's focus elsewhere on the U.S. government versus his company and some of his political leanings and some of his statements. What are you hearing from new Lucid owners?
Well, it hasn't really changed dramatically. So it's probably in the same area still. But what we hear is that a lot of the customer says, oh, by the way, the Tesla hasn't really changed in the last 10 years. We're looking for something new, an option, and with something that now even has better technology when it comes to the EV technology. That's what's attractive for them when they join the Lucid family. So it's a little bit linked to a little bit of tiredness with driving the same type of car all the time, and at the same time, there might be some political leanings reasons, but I wouldn't say that is the biggest driver. It's really about people more and more they get to learn about our brand, and in particular when they are able to sit and drive our products like you just did, and then they get really excited and convinced and make the move.
And by the way, the driver massage, that's really cool. Good to see you, Marc. Thank you so much for joining us.